Well, this is just a quick short. Here's my new rooster. Obviously, Bonnie is very taken with him. She will not go out and leave his side. She has been in here this entire time. I gotta put their food back down. I took the food. He's had a little bit of a rough life. He's pretty skinny. His crop he has eaten so much that it's like a starving animal. When you get them, sometimes they'll overeat because they haven't had food, so they like scarf down every possible thing that they could get. And as you can see, she's trying to groom him. What are you doing to him? I think she's being nice to him. I mean, it's not like she's pecking him hard. But every time I come in here, she's like right up next to him. Just like this, face to face, staring at him. And don't think that chickens don't have feelings. I know I haven't told you this story. Years and years ago, when I got my first horse, and I had some babies. They were super skittish of the birds that would fly in and out of the stall. So I'd gone to the sales pavilion and picked up a couple of roosters. They were like $1 a piece. And I brought them in and I put them in the barn so they'd get used to stuff. Well, then a few weeks later, they had a chicken coop there, and I got some hens for eggs. And I put them in their chicken coop. So we had a rooster, and the roosters were there. And the roosters were just fighting, just mean roosters. There was one that was just an evil rooster. And one of the roosters that got beat up, I saved and pulled it apart and put him with the other roosters, all by himself in a stall with a horse. And they lived just fine. Look at her. She's just like checking on him. I was going to dust him. I should do that before I go back in the house. And anyway, so the one rooster's locked up and one is free because I couldn't put him loose and, couldn't leave him. So he disappeared, and I thought maybe a fox or a dog, something got him. And about 4 or 5 days later, he's in the barn with a hen. And it was not one of the hens from the chicken coop. And I was like, well, that's bizarre. That's just weird. Anyway, they walked around for a day or two, and then I managed to catch her, and I put her in the coop. And that rooster sat on the outside of the coop and just screamed. And she sat on the inside of the coop next to where he was on the outside and just screamed. So finally the owners of the property were like, oh my God, put that hen outside. So I threw the hen back out. And then they were happy. They were wandering around. About a week later, some ladies driving by, and that rooster and the hen are walking around. And she stops the car. She's like, I think that's my hen. And I go, well, I know it's not mine. I said the rooster disappeared, came back, and he had this hen with him. So she calls, and the chicken comes running to her, and she scoops her up and takes her in the car and takes off down the road. Well, the next morning, my rooster's gone. And I'm like, oh, something got him. I kid you not, like 4 days later, he's back in the yard with that same hen. And sure enough, the lady came down like the next day, and there they were, just as happy as could be, walking around. She lived maybe a half mile down the road. And she called her chicken. Chicken came, scooped it up, took the chicken home with her. Rooster's gone again the next morning. I should have got her number, but I never did. And then like 3 or 4 days later, they're both back in the barnyard with me, waiting for me to give them some grain. And she shows up that afternoon, the minute she noticed she was missing. And we were laughing, and I go, well, I think they're in love. So I told her about how they sat and, cried outside of the chicken wire to each other. And I asked her, I said, well, do you have a rooster? She goes, no, I don't have a rooster. I go, well, why don't you take him with you when you leave? I go, and maybe she'll stay home if he's there too, if you take him, and, they'll be happy there. And so she did. She scooped them both up, because once she got her, he went right with her. And they went down to her place, half a mile down the road. And last I knew, they were living happily ever after, the rooster and the hen. But they were in love, I'm telling you. Yeah, see, she's not biting him. It's like she's trying to groom him. She's decided that's her man. She's kind of bossy and mean, so I'll feel bad for any other chicken that decides to be mean to him because they will protect each other. They're funny creatures. I think I made a good choice. I almost brought home the white one, but I really wanted the red guy. And he's not that big. He's just cold. And it's not cold in here. I'm sitting on the floor. The floor is a little bit cold. But I'm going to get their food down. But there's your short. It's not really short, is it? It's 5 minutes long, and I kind of wanted it to not be so long. But oh well, I can always edit it and make it a short. Have a good day, guys.